Welcome back. It is Wednesday, November 29th in the NBA. My four favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday, a 2-2 day. It feels like we've had, like 3 2-2 days in a row. Obviously, better than like an 0-4 day, but we want to win some money, and hopefully today we do just that. But let's talk about yesterday. We had Scotty Barnes and Alperen Sengun. They did their jobs pretty easily. Scotty should have been sweat-free, but he wanted to go 5 for 19 from the field. We had DeJounte Murray's over in points. He had 8 in the first quarter. I was like, all right, we're looking good. And then he just stopped shooting. A very odd game. And then when he did start shooting in the second half, just did not knock down his shots. Now, we did lose day 3 of the ladder challenge. As I'm sure a lot of you guys do know, we lost because Sabonis didn't feel like shooting the ball. I don't even know what the heck happened with Sabonis. I stayed up way too late watching that game, watching him just run away from the basketball, not even shoot, I think, in the fourth quarter. So annoying, but we will run back day 1. Look, we do these for fun. We also track them towards our record, which we've been pretty profitable on. So we're going to continue to do it for fun. Hopefully today will be a pretty surgical winner. I'll post that later on today. And we're also at the end of the video. Actually later on today, we will have our NFL video for the Seahawks versus Cowboys game. Also in that video, we talked about a couple free squares. One of them will be in the NFL, obviously on Sleeper for Dak Prescott to get 1 yard. Love him or hate him, he's getting you 1 yard. And if you are new to Sleeper, it's only for new users. So if you are a new user, Sleeper, I really like. They have a ton of different options, ton of different markets to bet on, and you can kind of parlay things together. So at the end of this video, I will have a parlay on Sleeper, trying to 5x our money. But a reminder, if you are new to Sleeper, you get the free square, but make sure you sign up using our code COS or the link in the description. So you also get a 100% deposit match up to $100. It's free money. Take advantage of it. But like I said, we need to go and to have a better day today. We need to go 4-0. Let's absolutely dominate. We're going to start with the first pick that I know a lot of people will absolutely love. Anthony Davis over 22.5 points, minus 115 on Caesars. Now, when I was looking at this, the next best odds were about minus 120 on DraftKings and BetMGM. I don't mind it at 23.5. If you look at AD, when he goes over the season, he makes it a no sweat. He's had 26 points in every single game he's gone over. So I'm pretty confident the line will not, dictate how AD does today. If he's either going over or he's soaring under, that's how he does. And you look at Anthony Davis so far this season, averaging 21.8 points per game. He is over this line in 9 of 17 games. So over a little bit more than 50% of the time, which obviously is good hit rate, but AD's had his fair share of bad games. We know that. It all comes down to how much he tries. He's had games this season with 9, and 10 points. Those are really lowering down that average, but end of the day, it's a matchup that's too good for me to avoid him, and I think this is a great spot for him to bounce back. Him and the Lakers to bounce back on the road in Detroit against a Pistons team that I think can keep this game close, make AD plays normal minutes, and AD's absolutely feasted on the Pistons. I mean, this is a Pistons team that plays fast and doesn't play a whole lot of defense. Then Davis's last 6 games versus Detroit, 24, 30, 30, 24, 38, and 34 points. Detroit was also the location of his career high 59 points back in 2016. Now, I don't think AD's dropping 59 tonight, but maybe he has something against Detroit. I don't really know. But either way, I really do think that he will come up and show up on the road. This is a big-time game for them. They need to win this game after getting smoked last game by the Sixers. I really think this is a great matchup for AD to dominate, get his field goal attempts. And this season, when he shot 15 or more times over this line in 8 of 10 such games. So comes down to how aggressive AD is. This feels like a great spot for him to be aggressive in, so I will trust him. I'll take his over 22.5 points. I haven't taken a lot of AD props this season, but when we have, he's normally cashed for us, so hopefully that is the case again tonight. Now, my second play is going to be another guy that you guys absolutely love. Zion Williamson over 23.5 points, minus 106 on Caesars. I would play this at 24.5. The only book this morning that did not have a line was FanDuel. And the reason that is because there's some injury news for the Pelicans, which is why they're kind of holding back on some lines. Now, the big guy that could be returning today, CJ McCollum, who was out the past, week or two with a collapsed lung. So glad to see him getting back on the court. Will he play tonight, though? I don't know. He is questionable right now, a game time decision. And honestly, if he plays, cool. It takes a little bit of pressure off Zion to create for his other teammates. If he doesn't, cool too, because Zion's going to have the ball in his hands a little bit more, probably see a little bit of an uptick in field goal attempts. I'm fine with it either way at home against the Sixers. I will take this because Zion's been he's been pretty good recently, and he cashed first last game. We'll take him again today just for points. Last time we did points plus assists, but I'll take points here because Zion is over this line in 5 straight games. He scored 25 plus points in all 5, so he's cashing it pretty easily, and he's over this line in 8 of 14 this season. Now, obviously, the Pelicans have had some injuries this season, which I kind of forced Zion to play different sort of positions, not in the sense of he's playing, point guard, but he is facilitating a little bit more when some guys are out. If CJ McCollum's back, we should see more, them facilitating to Zion. And while the Sixers are, on paper, a tougher matchup for him, I still think this is a game that is close, and I think that this is a game that Zion plays his normal minutes, and I think he can get to the free throw line, do his thing, and he's been knocking down his free throws a little bit better as of the last couple, 3 or 4 games. And the Sixers, yeah, they're one of the better teams in the NBA, but they've only beaten one team on the road by more than 10 points. That was the Nets. I don't see them blowing out the Pelicans at home. I really do think this is a close game, and we've seen in 3 career games, first Joel Embiid, Zion, 37, 36, and 26 points on 28, 19, and 12 field goal attempts. Absolutely crushing this line. Zion, 16 field goal attempts in 5 straight games. So we've kind of seen him come into, we took the first, 8 to 10 games to kind of get back, knock off some rust. But the last 5, he's been really good. And Zion's going to average more than 24 points per game this season. I can guarantee you that. So I think this is a great spot to back him. The Sixers are a team that is a tougher defense, but I also think they're going to be tough on his other teammates. It's not like Brandon Ingram's going to have, no one guarding him. He'll have a tough matchup. So I think Zion playing a lot with that second unit, which is notoriously headed by B-ball Paul Reed and Tyrese Maxey pushing the pace. I think that's when Zion feasts. So maybe if you see Zion get off to a slow start, maybe consider live betting is over, because I think he dominates that second unit when he starts with the second unit at the start of the second quarter. I really think this is a great spot to back Zion Williamson. Give me his over 23.5 points. If it goes up to 24.5, I like it there. It could go up even more if CJ McCollum does not play, but I do anticipate CJ being back today. I don't really care if he plays or not. I think Zion feasts on the Sixers defense. Now, my third play will be an under. I don't do a lot of unders here because, no one loves rooting for an under, but obviously unders have a lot more ways of cashing than do overs. You need an over, you need a guy to shoot well, or else you're pretty much chalked. But for this guy, I'm fine taking an under here. It is for the Orlando Magic. Who is it? Franz Wagner, under 22.5 points, minus 120 on Bet365. Considering the health that the Magic are in, this will be a system play. If they ever set Franz up to 22.5, I will consistently take it because, look, I love Franz Wagner. I watch a lot of Orlando Magic basketball. I just don't think he's a 23 points per game scorer. If you remember a couple, weeks, maybe a week or two back, we took Jaren Jackson Jr.'s under 25.5 points. Regardless of matchup, how good of a matchup it is, I just don't think Franz is a 23 points per game scorer right now in his NBA career. And while it is a great matchup on paper versus the Wizards, I just don't think this line is obviously inflated to reflect that matchup. And we look at Franz this season, averaging 19.5 points per game. He is under this line in 12 of 17 games. Now, he is coming off a game against the Hornets, another good matchup, scored 30 points, but shot 73% from the field. Look at Franz, yet to go over in back-to-back games this season, yet to shoot above 50% in back-to-back games this season. So, look, the Wizards are bad. I'm not coming out here and saying, hey, the Wizards, they're clamping him up, seatbelt, whatever. No, that's probably not going to happen. But just because it's a good matchup for Franz also means it's a good matchup for Banchero, for Suggs, for Cole Anthony off the bench, and their other guys too. So while I would love if, the Magic had Wendell Carter Jr. and Markelle Fultz out there, I still think at the end of the day, this line is too high at 22.5. Franz could hit the over, but statistically, if you took the same exact line, 22.5, the whole season long, you would win a lot more than you lose. Not just for the first 17 games, but for the rest of the next 65. This is just too high of a line. The Magic are also 10.5 point favorites. The Magic also play defense, whereas the Wizards don't. We could see a blowout here. That would not surprise me at all. And also, you look at Franz, 3 straight matchups versus the Wizards. He scored 20 points on the dot, so he is under in 3 straight. Granted, he did score 20, so he might make this a sweat. And it wouldn't be surprising if Franz, scored 20 tonight. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I just think 23 is a tad high for him. If it was 21.5, I still would take it there. If it was 20.5, I probably wouldn't take it. But I think just the inflated line due to it being the Wizards, I'll take a stab at it. I don't take a lot of unders, but I'm willing to take this one. I just think this line's a tad too high for Franz Wagner. I'll take his under 22.5 points. Then my fourth play, as always, I'd like to remind you all that we will be tailing the ladder challenge, not only for $10, but also for a unit. We like to bet a unit on these because I'm very confident in the long run over, 100 or so days of doing the ladder that we will be very profitable on it, just in terms of if you just played them as 1 unit straight bets. Obviously, there is the fun and the celebration of trying to hit 10 days in a row, which obviously gets a lot of people excited, but it is more responsible for our bankroll to play them for each 1 unit plus an extra $10 to try to have some fun with. And if you are not a 10 unit better or $10 unit better, you probably make a lot of money in the long run tailing the ladder challenge. So obviously, if your unit size is close to $10, it's a little bit more tricky because you're betting 2 units on a ladder challenge play, which it's going to be hard to hit consistently 2 unit plays like that. But I do think that this is a great spot to to keep continuously tailing the ladder. We're 11-7 on this season. Feels like we're getting into a groove after the first week or two, kind of figuring the NBA out. Getting into a groove these last couple. We can't control Sabonis. I should have avoided him. He sometimes struggles against the Warriors. Although I thought it was a great matchup for for him to do what he does. Scores 20-15 at points at home, but it just did not get it done. But I feel like we're finding a good groove, finding those right players we can trust, and all it takes is we just got to get a little bit lucky for a couple straight days. If we get the NFL back in here tomorrow for hopefully day 2, and then we'll have it for day 4 or 5 on Sunday. I feel really good about today's ladder. We'll post it later on today. As always, you can go check that out. I'll post the YouTube short when it is live. We post it, I don't know, by lunchtime, 12 p.m. Eastern time, noon. I should have it live by then. I'm just, trying to decide which ones we want to go with. But those are my favorite picks of the day. 3 straight bets, 1 ladder challenge. Let's go 4-0. Let's get back to winning. It's been an annoying 2-2 stretch these last couple days, but we're going to get back to winning like we always do. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's Austin. I'm signing out. Peace.